How's it going, guys? This is Victor with the BOB Trading Team. So today was actually a very weak day in the market. There weren't very many stocks gapping up. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to test out this new strategy that I came across. And the strategy has to do with float rotation, and I'm going to explain how that works. This video won't be that long, I don't think. So we're going to start this off the same way we start off every day. We go to Benzinga pre-market movers at around 8:30 a.m. Excuse me. And the number one stock today was GRTX. It was gapping up over 106. Well, when I seen it, I think it was at 80%. Now it's up 106%. So we click it and we try to figure out if it meets our criteria. So we look at the total float right here, which is 15.6 million. Excuse me. It's 15.6 million. We like to look at companies that have under 30 million shares, so this fits that criteria. Next, we try to see if they have a news catalyst. About 8 hours ago. So they do have a news catalyst down here, released like 8 hours ago. So that's the two things. That's two of the three things we look for. Next, we want to see if they have volume. We want to trade stocks that are having high volume or heavy volume days. So when I seen this stock at around 8 o'clock, they had traded about 6 to 7 million shares, which is okay. The market hadn't opened yet because the market opens at 9:30, and this company only has 15.6 million, so they had traded about half of their float. At 7 million shares is closest if you do that times two, it's about 14, which is close enough to 15. So they trade about half of their float. Rotation, because it's very important. So after we found this stock and it fits our criteria, the next thing we go look at is we go to Thinkorswim. So looking at a daily chart, the first thing I notice is if we zoom in, we have this huge gap right here. $2.23 up to about $7.40. There's this huge gap. And just a side note, these gaps, they have to get filled. So one day, this huge gap will get filled. It didn't happen today. I thought it might because the company was trading on such high volume, but it didn't. So that's the first thing I noticed was this huge gap. I thought there was a chance we might fill it today, but the news catalyst wasn't amazing, so I wasn't very hopeful. So after I noticed that huge gap, I noticed these volume bars or these candles. Each one of these candles represents one day. And if you notice, they're very small. That means the price isn't moving very much in this given day. If we go back some and you look at these candles or these bars, you notice they're a lot larger than the ones we just looked at. So that means the range was a lot wider. If we look at this right here, this range is from $9.07 all the way up to $9.86. And if we go back and look at one of these smaller candles, this one's from 143 to about 156. It's about 15 cents or something like that. It's a very small range. So that's the first thing I noticed. Another thing to notice, companies or stocks under $4, they don't move as well as companies that are $4 or more. So that's another thing I noticed when I came in. I seen that it was under $4 because when I seen it, it was at $3 and I think 80 cents or something close to that. So once I realized it was under $4, I lost a little bit more hope because I'm like, this isn't going to move very much because of the price and because of this huge gap. This gap probably scared a lot of traders off. And if I didn't want to try this strategy, I probably wouldn't have traded this ticker either, or wouldn't have traded this company either. But I wanted to test out the strategy and also wanted to make this video to tell you guys if it actually worked. So we looked at the daily chart. We noticed this huge gap. We noticed this company doesn't move very much. And we noticed that if we look at this candle, this day it did 62 million volume and it had a decent day. This is probably the largest candle close to any of these days we had. So when I seen the 62 million shares traded on this day and it had a decent day, I was like, okay. It was the pre-market when I noticed it, and we were trading about 6 to 7 million shares. So I figured we will probably get somewhere close to That's 62 million. I guessed about 200 million. I guess between 204 million to 340 million. Right now, we're currently at 263 million shares traded so far today. I don't know if we're going to get another 40 million, no, another like 40, 80 million shares traded. We might, though. So now that we're done looking at the daily chart, let's look at the 5-minute chart. So we zoom in. And if we notice, okay, when I noticed the stock, it was at $3.91. My bad, I was wrong. This happened at 7:40 a.m. And if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you see it traded 2.6 million volume on this candle. The one before it traded 2.3 million, and the one before that, it traded 1.8 million per 5 minutes. Each one of these candles or these bars represents 5 minutes intervals. So this one's 7:30 a.m., this one's 7:35 a.m., this one's 7:40 a.m. So I usually turn the computer on about 8 to 8:30 a.m. So when I came in, this was the highest this stock had been, and I noticed that it was downtrending. And I know that stocks under $4 don't move very well. So I let it come down some more, and I just wanted to watch it and just notice and see what happens. And I seen that it had, like I said earlier, 7 million shares traded so far at about 8 o'clock, 8:30ish. And this company has 15 million shares. So let's talk about float rotation. Float rotation is how many times each of those shares trades hands. So this company has 15 million shares. So once it trades 15 million shares on any given day, that's one float rotation. Each of the 15 million shares have traded hands at least one time. A good day or a good number for a company is 5 float rotations. So for this company to have a good day, or like for this company, once you notice about 5 float rotations, you know it's going to be a pretty good day for the company, or it is a good day for this company. So this company has 15 million shares. So let's do 15 times 5. So once this company trades 75 million shares, it has done 5 float rotations, and that means it's trending towards a good day. Good days vary based off a company. So like today was a good day for this company. It's up 106%, but it didn't move very much. Let me get rid of this calculator. So what I noticed was I write down stocks, and I don't start really focusing on them until they have completed at least one float rotation. So I wasn't interested in this company until it had traded at least 15 million shares. Once we got to about 9:30 a.m., it hit 2 float rotations. It rotated another 15 million shares plus. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, on this one candle right here at 9:30 a.m. to 9:35 a.m., it traded 13.1 million shares, which is almost one full rotation in 5 minutes. So once I seen that large rotation or that large candle with so much volume, that's when I entered the trade. And I got in somewhere around, actually got a bad feel again. Sorry, I know I keep saying that, but I did again. I got filled somewhere around here, like the $3.10-ish range, $3.10. And after that, it pushed up a little higher. It pushed up to 325. It pulled back. And this pullback, when it happened, I wasn't worried because this company was trading on so much volume. And I knew that it was trending towards 5 float rotations or more. So when it pulled back right here and I was still in, I wasn't worried at all. I knew this company couldn't go that high just because it's under $4, and stocks under $4 don't move that much. So it pulled back, and then 10 minutes later, it was up here at $3.35, and I sold the few shares I had. This was a small trade. I really just wanted to test out the strategy and see how many float rotations do we need before the company starts uptrending. I will try to start entering trades somewhere between 2 to 3 float rotations So on this stock, it would be between 30 million and what's that? Sorry, brain fart. Between 30 million and 45 million shares traded. That's when I would start looking at this company. And that's when I started looking at it. I started looking at it once it traded about 30 million shares. And then I sold my shares up here at the top just because I knew it couldn't go that high. But that's pretty much the gist of it. So volume is the catalyst that drives stocks up. Stock price don't increase without volume. So the more volume you have is usually the higher chances that that stock can go. So once I noticed this stock was trading on high volume, it caught my attention a little bit. Because it's under $4, I wasn't super focused on it. I knew it wasn't going to be an amazing trade or anything like that, but I did want to test out the strategy. So I noticed once we got to 2 float rotations, that's when the price started to uptrend, and that's when I entered the stock. And I noticed once we got to 5 float rotations, which was about right here. This is 1 second. About right here. This was about 4 to 5 float rotations. This is when the stock pulled back, and then on the 6th rotation, which is between these 2 minutes, that's when it pushed back up. And let's look at the daily volume one more time really quickly. If we go to the daily chart, this company has traded 265 million shares. Let's pull up that calculator one more time. 265, 265 divided by 15. This company's done 17 float rotations today, and that's why it's up 106% today. So this video was pretty much just to explain float rotations. The market was weak today, so there weren't very many great trades that I seen. Maybe you might have seen something I didn't. But let's just explain float rotations one more time. So let's say a company has 10 million shares available. Once that company's traded 10 million shares on that day, it's completed 1 float rotation. Once it's traded 20 million shares, it's completed 2 float rotations. And once it's completed 50 million shares, it's completed 5 float rotations. If a stock trades 5 float rotations, more than likely it will have a good day and the price will be going up or gapping up. Stocks under $4. Oh, sorry, the market just closed. Stocks under $4 typically don't move that well, so that's why this one didn't have huge price action. But we want to look for stocks that are doing lots of float rotations, because the more float rotations means the more volume. The more volume means the more shares that are trading hands back and forth, and the more shares that are trading hands back and forth is what pushes the price up, because stock price is based off supply and demand. If more people want it and it keeps trading back and forth, that's what drives the price up. So this video is pretty much just to explain float rotation and how it works. And knowing how it works allows you to have a little bit more confidence when you're in trades. Like, yeah, the trade might not be going your way right now, but is the volume still increasing? Are people still interested in this stock? And then knowing that lets me know and feel a little bit more comfortable that it will eventually, I'm not going to say that, it might turn back in my favor, because I've done all the research before I get into trades, and I'm usually looking at the right stocks. So I know that if it's down right now when I'm in it, I probably got an early entry, and I just need to wait a little bit longer for more volume and more float rotations to happen before the price goes up. So I know I probably talked a little fast in this video. I was trying to make it short, but it looks like it's going to be about 14-15 minutes. Feel free to message us or leave comments in the box below. Please like and subscribe. We try to share information that'll make trading the market a little bit easier. That way you can learn from our mistakes. That way you don't have to make the same mistakes we make. And we're still learning every day. We try to become better traders. Today was I was red the last 2 days. I was red on Friday and I was red on Monday yesterday. So today was my first green day in 2-3 days. So every day the goal is just to get better, and the more you trade, the more screen time you get, the more confidence you build, the more comfortable you'll feel, and the easier it'll be to recognize patterns and understand what's going on in real time. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video now because I'm getting long-winded. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, leave comments, message us if you have any questions. Also, there's a link in the bottom of the description. It'll take you to our website where you can purchase a course that explains all the stuff that I just went through in more detail. It's about 4 to 5 hours full of content. Thank you.